I just love boxing. I just love competing.
Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. We just trying to go from nothing to something.
All right, so stay
we almost
tuned.
there. We almost famous.
Well, you better promote your fights. Stay tuned.
It's the Doscinco Project.
Money pouring in, clientele growing now.
With your host, Doscinco.
Let's go!
What up, everybody? It's Doscinco, and you are now tuned into the Doscinco Project, where we talk about business, finance, motivation, and mindset. I have a very special guest today, a walking legend, especially in the city of Philadelphia. The first Latino world champion from Philly, 2 division world champion, dominated the junior welterweight division back in full force in the welterweight division, ready to fight Errol Spence. Not only is he a championship boxer, he is making a name for himself in the business world. He has a clothing brand called DSG, boxing promotional company called DSG Promotions, a real estate portfolio like you would never believe, barbershop, boxing gym, detail shop, music label, and so much more. He's even tried to get into the cannabis business. Everybody, welcome Danny Swift Garcia. What's up, brother?
I'm good, bro. How you?
I'm doing good. Well, listen, I want to jump right into it. You know, obviously, you come from Philadelphia, humble beginnings. Where did you grow up?
Well, I was born and raised on Percy and Pike, North Philadelphia, and then I moved to Juniata when I was about 3 years old. Okay. And then I was born and raised in Juniata from like 5 years old all the way to like 20 years old, 21 years old. And now I'm residing, Miami, Pennsylvania.
Listen, brother, you're doing it big.
Living life, you feel me?
Now, how was your childhood? Would you, being raised in the environments that you were raised in, how would you describe it?
Well, my childhood was fun. You feel me? It was fun. I adapted to my environment. You know what I'm saying? My parents were there, got into boxing when I was young and just never stopped. But I had a good childhood. Right? Yeah, I started boxing when I was 7 first. Okay. And then I was too young.
Got you.
You can't be 7 years old in Philly and box. You got to be 10. So
got you.
I came back when I was 10 and that was it. But my childhood was fun. I played football. I built tree houses. I played cops and robbers.
Let me tell you, for those that don't know, see, me and Danny, we cousins. And so, I grew up with Danny and, the tree houses and stuff. When Danny started first boxing and he started getting into it, me and Danny, we boxed in the living room of my house one day, and Danny it was hilarious because Danny was like at my waist and I was always the tallest one out of the entire family at the time.
Yep.
And Danny got me in a corner one time and had me cracking up and like teed off on me, and then I just dropped to the ground because I was cracking up out of laughter. Would I fight him today? Absolutely not. That's a death sentence. But overall, he had, he definitely had a great childhood.
Yeah, you was letting me hit you too. I was digging him. He's over there laughing. I'm like, I was mad as hell.
Let me tell you, but one thing I will say, Danny was always a good kid growing up. We was raised in an environment where drugs was real prevalent and there was just so many different things that can, sidetrack you. But Danny always kept his head on straight. Let's jump into your boxing, right? You talked about boxing at 10 years old. What made you want to get into boxing first and foremost?
It's crazy talking about my childhood though. I want to bring up one more thing.
Let's do it.
That haircut your dad gave me a long time ago.
So let me tell you,
he gave me a number 1, and my hairline was like a whole round. It was like this. I had a lace front on, bro.
Let me tell you. So
worst haircut of my life, bro.
Let me tell you.
I was crying.
He was. My father.
They took me to the Chinos and fixed my haircut for $5. It was so bad. Remember the Chinos was laughing when he sat me on the chair.
They all started laughing. It was bad.
They was laughing.
My father was notorious for clippers. My father has a set of clippers and he thinks he's like a whole barber. For 2 graduations, my father gave me bow cuts, okay? And it's just terrible memories. So he did that to Danny, said, I'm gonna give you a haircut. He gave Danny a haircut and he literally, instead of boxing out his shape up, he rounded it out.
He gave me a lace front.
He looked like he had a football helmet.
He gave me a lace front. He gave me a lace. It was so bad the Chinese people was laughing
terrible.
at me.
Danny looked
for $5 haircut.
Danny looked at himself in the mirror and started crying, literally just out of nowhere started crying. My father was confused as to what was going on. Didn't even realize it.
He thought they gave me the best haircut of my life.
Right. But
Appreciate that.
to jump into, I think that was a bad part of your childhood there, right?
Yeah, no, but that was like kind of the worst day of my life. At that point, I was like, "Get me the hell out this joint," because I think I stood off for the weekend.
You sure
I had that
did.
Red Cross hat on for like, I was sleeping with that joint on.
They didn't want to show anything.
Fact.
But to get into boxing, right? So you're 10 years old. You go into a boxing ring.
Mm-hmm.
What made you want to get into it?
You know, I always loved, you know, sports as a kid. Like, I love football. I love Brett Favre. I love Allen Iverson. So those guys inspired me to be like sports stars. But boxing was always in the family. You feel me?
Right.
Like, pops loved boxing. A couple of my uncles are boxers. So I think it was in my DNA. And I love sports.
Mm-hmm.
And like as a kid, like all my friends had trophies, and I didn't have no trophies.
Wow.
So I was like, I want a trophy. I want a trophy. And when I found out like you could get a trophy off boxing,
Yep.
that's what really wanted me to fight. Like I remember I started with 1, and I just put all my trophies on top of the fireplace, and it went from like 1 to like 30 at one time. Yeah.
Crazy. Now, so you was boxing at 10. Now, most children, when they get into sports, they get into sports for a little while and then they drop off. What made you stay consistent even through teenage years? And the reason why I say that is I remember at times, especially at like 15, 16 years old, going to your house and you was on the treadmill and you could not go outside until you finished your 3 miles or what have you.
Yeah.
What kept you consistent as a teenager and not just say, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm just going to go do my thing.
You know, I think my mindset was different than a lot of people. Like,
Okay.
I just felt like, to me, it was do or die. You feel me? Like it's either win or fail. You feel me? So
Right.
I didn't want to be like a product of my environment. I didn't want to be like my friends in the neighborhood. So I just worked hard every day and kept going until I never stopped.
And so did you see a future in boxing? As you were boxing, did you just look at it as something to do so you can get trophies, or were you more looking at it like, listen, I know that I'm going to be a world champion one day?
At first, I want to be an Olympian. That was my number one goal. 2008 Olympian. I was the alternate in 2008, so I didn't become an Olympian, but I turned pro. I became world champion.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when you became world champion, when you got signed to Golden Boy, right? Was that the first big promotion that signed you, that recognized you at that time?
Yeah, well, before I signed with Golden Boy, I had already had a manager that signed me, a guy named Shelly Finkel.
He was the one that managed Mike Tyson at one time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Shelly was, as an amateur, you know, he was like sponsoring me already. So
Okay.
he was giving me like a monthly check. So I signed to Shelly first, and then when I turned pro, is either I gotta pay him back or continue to go with him. If he had the first right, you know, to bid for me. So I was like, all right, let's keep going.
Okay.
He introduced me to Golden Boy, and then Golden Boy gave me the signing bonus. And yeah, that was my first check. It was $75,000.
Wow, so that was your first check, just signing on the dotted line with them, $75,000?
Yeah, when I signed the contract, they gave me $75,000 check.
Okay.
As soon as when I got they gave me the money when I went to Miguel Cotto versus Shane Mosley.
Was that your first biggest check?
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember when I came up to the joint, he was like, "Here, $75,000." I was like, "Hood rich."
And when you saw that check, what did it do for you?
I was like, "Damn, $75K." Like, it was just like it was life changing for me at that point.
$75,000 like nothing now, huh? Now that you look at it, because you're on a different level.
Yeah, $75K is a lot, but like my lifestyle, it ain't a lot for me no more.
Right.
Like, but
now when you okay, so you signed with Golden Boy. Obviously, you boxed your way up, became a world champion. Describe the feeling you got when you got your first $1 million check.
my first $1 million check, I fought Eric Morales in a rematch.
Okay.
I beat him for the belt, then I fought Amir Khan. I got $500,000 when I fought Amir Khan, and that was a unification fight.
Wow.
So there's kids now making that without fighting nobody.
Wow.
You know, but you know, my first meal, I fought Eric Morales. I knocked him out in 4 rounds, and I remember when I got that check, I just looked at it and I was like, "Damn, it feels like I hit the lottery."
Wow. Eric Morales check, the $500,000?
No, the Eric Morales was the mill.
Oh, that was the
one
mill.
before
Okay.
that was
Gotcha.
Amir Khan. That was a unification fight on
Okay.
HBO. I only got $500,000 for that.
Right.
But the very next fight, I got my first $1 million with Eric Morales.
And so that was a check when you got it's the $1 million.
Yeah, so in boxing, right after the fight, you get your check.
Right.
You know, it was a little under $1 million because I had 2 belts. So I had, you got to pay sanction fees.
You got to pay
A lot of people don't know you got to pay for the belts every time you fight. You know, so a lot of fans don't know that. Like, it's called a sanction. You got to pay for your fight, pay for your belt 3%. So I paid about 60,000 sanction fees for 2 belts.
Okay.
And then every other fees, manager fees, and all that. So you probably walk out that joint with like 700.
But overall, your gross was $1 million. You just had to pay under that, and the next thing you know, whatever your net
to
is.
like 750.
But you got $1 million check, right? Where was you living at when you got that first $1 million check?
I was living in Ben Salem.
You were living in Ben Salem, so that's probably like a good 20 minutes outside of Philly, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was your step out. Technically, you made it outside the city already.
I made it at that point.
Yeah, you made it. So you got your $1 million check.
Yeah.
So you just felt like the skies was the limit? Did you feel as though that was it for you, or did you feel as though there were more levels to it?
Nah, I felt like that was just the very beginning. Like I tasted success at a very young age.
So let's fast forward. Obviously, you've changed your life. You changed your family's life. You know, you are a multi-millionaire that has come from nothing. You literally are the epitome of coming from nothing, right?
Hell yeah. So
now you're looking to fight Errol Spence. What does that mean to you?
To me, it's gonna be my 10th world title fight. So that means a lot to me. It's my 10th time in a world championship fight. Some fighters never fight for one. So for one, 10th time, I feel like that's gonna be a charm for me. You feel me? I've been here many times before. I've been in unified championship fights. I've been the top dog. I've been the underdog. I just been through it all. To me, it's just another fight.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's not because this is like a career-defining moment for me. Like this would be the time for me to be back on top.
This is like the Eric Morales fight. It was always like milestones, right?
Yeah. So this is like the storybook ending right here of every end of the movie when the guy comes back and he had a couple, bumps in the road, and he comes back to no real big bumps. You feel me? To me, they weren't bumps, but it is what it is. And I came back and boom, I'm just on top of the world again.
So winning this particular fight technically puts you on top of the welterweight division, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this fight right here, after I win this fight, if you look at the last 10 years in boxing, I'm ahead of the class. Like I feel like I'll be the best boxer in that last 10 years. Because you look at it, there is a lot of fighters winning world titles, but they're not winning them how I'm winning them. Like they're not beating the best, they're not beating the underdog, or they're not defining the odds. Like it's easy to become a world champion if they make you a champion, or they make you fight people you can beat.
Vacant title or something.
Exactly,
like
but when you beat the odds and you keep beating the odds, you can't be denied. And I feel like this is the defining moment of my career.
That's awesome. Are you? Because I remember you fought Lucas Matisse. He was supposed to be the monster in the division at that one particular time, but you dismantled him.
Right.
Everyone's looking at Errol Spence like the boogeyman, the monster. They always put some kind of obstacle and they amplify it for you. Are you looking at this as that, or are you looking at it as just a typical fight that you're just going to run through?
I'm just looking at it like another man they're hyping up so I can knock him down.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty much it.
So the
media can make you a star, or you can make yourself a star. I made myself a star. The media never liked me.
True.
They never talk good about me or put me on front of magazine pages.
Especially
or put me on Jimmy Kimmel or something.
Especially if your pop was.
But I'm on your joint, so I'm good.
So let's jump right into boxing promotion, right? So not only are you a fighter, but you're also on the business side of things as well with your own promotion.
Right.
What made you want to go into that type of area?
I just wanted to give the kids in Philly or like young Latino boxers or anybody, you feel me? I want to give them my platform. I want to make it easier for kids in Philly to be successful and be seen. Or anybody who can fight, you feel me?
Right.
But I really did it for like Latinos in America, like kids like me. Because before, you had to go to Puerto Rico to get a Puerto Rican star. You didn't have to go to... Why would you go to Philly when you could just go to Puerto Rico and get a kid who really speaks Spanish and all that? So, they always told me, you got to learn how to do this, you got to learn how to do that. So they said it'll be hard for me to be a star in boxing because, I'm a Puerto Rican, but I'm from America.
Right.
So I want to create that kind of culture, for boxing and bring kids like that on board with me.
Okay.
You feel me? And that's why I'm doing it.
Describe the business aspect of it. Is it simply, having DSG Promotions? Is it simply just a name on a banner when you're at a fight, or how do you run a promotion, so to speak? So obviously you'll pick up, someone from a gym in Philadelphia, right? You sign them. Do you have investors behind you, or are you the one coming out of your pocket saying, I'm going to pay this person $50,000 or $75,000, $100,000 for this particular fight? Like, how does it work?
Well, I had two fighters, right? They were both undefeated fighters. One was 9-0, one was 4-0.
Okay.
See, we gotta understand, when you're not fighting on TV,
Yep.
that's where the money is on TV, because the
Sponsors.
Yeah, sponsors. The TV pays you, you pay the fighter. But those young kids, I was coming out of my pocket. I was paying for those. I was moving them. You feel me? Because I knew if I believe in you enough that I would get my return later. And but most of the time, I think the only person who can lose in boxing is a promoter. Gotcha. Because the fighters get paid whatever they get paid. Right. The manager gets his 10 or 15 or 20% off the kid's purse. It's up to the promoter to make sure enough people come, enough people watch this, or buy it on pay-per-view to make sure that they can recoup their money.
Gotcha.
So the manager's really in risk in boxing. They're the ones who could take the loss.
Gotcha.
But
so you're responsible technically for the events. Like, say for instance, you partner with someone, you guys decide to do like a 4 or 5 fight event at a venue. Mm-hmm. You handling all of the upfront cost of the marketing and things of that sort, and whatever that generates, you take for profit after paying the fighters and stuff like that, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And like in the future, like the goal is to get investors, because you never want to spend your own money as a businessman. That's just dumb. You feel me? But
absolutely.
But in the beginning, you got to spend a little bit of money. You want to move the fighters, and that's the goal, to get investors and build something big, and then build a relationship with TV, and then just have the ball rolling.
Gotcha. What are your future plans for DSG Promotions?
My future plans right now, to be honest, I'm more focused on Danny Garcia right now. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I had those 2 fighters. I built them up, but right now, we let them go. It's not easy dealing with people at the same time. Absolutely. You understand? Because they don't understand. I never told them I was paying for this.
Right.
I just, as a business, I'm paying you and just keep it moving. I have to explain everything to you. But
absolutely.
Right now, my main focus on the promotion is just I'm promoting myself right now. I'm promoting Danny Garcia, because the bigger Danny Garcia is, the bigger anybody else is gonna come behind me.
Absolutely.
So that's what we just focus on, Danny Garcia right now.
Now we're going to get into real estate, music, and your clothing line, okay? But first, let's talk about your music. What made you decide to get into music first and foremost?
Well, to be honest, the first time you got me into music.
Describe that. Describe that. Like what?
Well, I used to go over your house. You feel me?
True, I had a recording studio.
Had the recording studio, and you used to be an artist.
Yep.
But the first time I ever recorded on the song was on your joint, on your studio.
That's when we had. Oh yeah, that's when.
That was before I did Swift Pop Bottles. Remember, I was a kid.
Right. Exactly.
And then this happened years later.
Yep. Exactly.
And I used to come over your house and. I recorded some songs, and I remember I used to come with Young Manny and all that.
Young Manny, and then you brought Joey Jihad. Shout out to Joey Jihad. He was one of the big. He was a big artist in Philly at that one particular time, and Danny brought him into the house because he knew him of that, at that time. And I'm like, man, he was pretty big. He was real big.
Hattie was the man at the time.
Yeah, Hattie was definitely the man. And shout out to Hattie.
Yeah.
And so you dibbled and dabbled into music.
So
did you fall in love at that time?
I always loved music, like watching videos and all that, but the recording part and like trying to be an artist and all that, that's when that came into my life. Like,
gotcha. And
that's how, because I would never start it because you gave me the studio.
Right, and I was
you gave me the garage. You gave me the garage band, and it's crazy because the M box and the microphone you gave me, that's what started my sisters.
That's crazy.
So that was the same studio that I used to start the Twins.
Yeah, because they started at like 6 years old, 5, 6. You started them real young.
Yeah, so the Twins were recording on the studio you gave me.
That's nuts.
And then I recorded so many artists on that studio.
That's nuts.
Like I became like a producer, like didn't even know it.
Yeah, because I
was an engineer. I was recording people.
Yeah, because I remember you. See, one thing about you is you know, once you got interested in something, you were like, all right, D, how did you do that? How did you? And I was guiding you through it until you did it yourself.
Yeah, you was like, because I was like, how do you mix it? How do you do that? Because I always thought mixing was like something special. And you was like, no, it's just however sounds good to you. And then ever since then, I was like, so I was just recording people, then I record myself, I record my friends, I record the twins. And that's when I was like, yo, I think I'm going to start a label.
That's when you started what? Swift Attraction?
Yeah, with Swift Attraction Music. That's when, because Eddie, my friend Eddie was trying to be an artist at that time. And I was recording him, and he was the main attraction. And I was Swift, and we just made Swift Attraction Music. And, his brother, and then we were doing Young Manny, all the kids, like even Erica. Like I was recording Erica in my studio.
She was what, Young E at the time, right?
Yeah, like we did songs together. So, like, that's how it all started. Then I was like, we're going to create our label. We created Swift Attraction Music. And then, you were young at the time. You weren't, I don't even think you hit 20 years old at that time, I was like
right?
18.
You were young.
Yeah, I was like 17.
So you always had that entrepreneurial spirit, you know, to want to jump in and start making things happen.
But I think I was already recording for so long before that.
Yeah, you were recording probably at like 15. At least
something
15
like
years
that.
old. Yeah.
And, but yeah, that's how I got into it.
Because I had my studio since 13. So I had my studio since 13. Remember, you used to come to my house a lot. Yeah. So you definitely were being exposed to that at an early age. Right.
So that's how the music started. You know, recording. Then I just was like, let's make my own labels. Swift Attraction Music. Started picking up artists. You know, Eddie's brother Johnny Boy. You know, the Siangie Twins, and Young Manny used to come over. He wasn't part of DSG, but. And that was just like how we started. And the crazy thing is, you know, when you talk about Young Manny, you talk about, Johnny Boy, you talk about the Siangie Twins, like they all, especially in these environments, we got a lot of talent. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of talent. It's just about nurturing that talent and blowing them up because honestly, like the Siangie Twins, you really put a lot into them to where they've become like literally they have millions of followers. They have music videos out. You know, how do you feel about that? How do you feel, you know, knowing that, and you documented a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I got it all documented.
Yeah, you got it documented.
All the videos.
So you talk about when they were young, recording to where they are now. Like, how do you feel about that?
It's crazy. It's a journey, to be honest with you. Like, but it went so fast.
So true.
Like, I can't believe they're 19, and we started when they were like 6.
Like 6 years old.
So
I have the very first recording. And I think your father was in the recording studio when I needed ad-libs for a song that I had. Mm-hmm. And I sent it to you. I sent a very brief clip to you not too long ago. And that was the first time they were absolutely recorded in the audio.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think it was they had to be like 4 or 3 years old at the time.
But, you know, they put in so much work already, you know, with the millions of followers, the TikTok followers, the Instagram followers. But they're really just getting started. So it takes a long time to build a fan base and break through. But then it takes a long time to become a platinum selling artist and you know, a millionaire in the game. So, but they're on track because they're only 19. You know, so far so good, and they just got to keep going.
So, are you functioning from a management perspective right now, or do you have a late? I mean, I know you mentioned having Swift Attraction Music back then. Do you still have that? Like, what's the business side of it right now? Like, where are you operating?
Well, right now, you know, we're DSG Music Group.
Okay.
But I manage them too. I'm a manager and I'm a label.
Okay.
So
this is on top of boxing and boxing promotion and everything.
So I
else,
manage the Twins, and I got the DSG Music Group, and our partners, our distribution is Empire. So
that's a distribution deal.
Yeah, we did the distribution / label because they gave us money.
Okay. So they're handling
distribution. They don't give you no money.
Gotcha.
But they gave us some money, so it's kind of like a label deal. It's a one-off.
Okay.
We did a one-off EP with them.
Gotcha.
So they funded our one EP, and then you know, they gave us some money, then they pushed the marketing behind it. Okay.
Are you still associated with them, or since it was the one-off, are you out of it now and you're currently independent, or are you still with Empire?
Like, no, but actually they gave us on our own account, so we can distribute anybody we want, any artist, like any artist I want.
Oh, nice.
So like, if you want to come out of rap retirement and be an artist, I could distribute you through Empire.
I think I might do that. Now that we know what's going on.
Yeah. So we definitely got a good relationship with Empire. You know, his name's Ghazi. They're in San Francisco. Ghazi's a great guy. You know, had dinner with him. You know, just built a great relationship with him, and You know, he's a boxing fan too, so.
How do you know what's a good fit? Like, how do you know that this partnership might work out? Like, what do you do? Are you going by gut feeling? Are you, like, when you're meeting with these individuals and you're having dinner with them, are you trying to size them up, so to speak, and trying to figure out if they have good intentions? Because there's a lot of snakes out there too.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's individuals that will try to take your money and take your artist, sign you to a crazy deal, and then they go off into the sunset.
Right.
How do you know what partners to align yourself with?
Well, you know, you hear a lot of artists and they talk good about them, you know, so you want me to...
By the way, no, you know what? We good. By the way, we are in Danny's basement right now recording. Okay, so the dog's upstairs angry, but we just wanted to let you guys know, put that in perspective. So we cool.
Yeah. So how do I know what's a good partnership? Well, you know, Ghazi has a good name in the game. You know, I remember a while back, I was trying to get the Twins a deal. Like, we went everywhere. We went to Sony. We went to Republic. We went to Atlantic. We went to every major label, had a meeting with everyone, you know, and we didn't get no deal. So I was like, yo, I'm like, then we was doing a distribution deal with Sony Orchard. Okay. And I said, Fat Joe was like, yeah, that's good, but the twins are stars, man. They need
This is Fat Joe, you said?
Fat Joe. He was like, they stars, man. That's more for underground. He was like, you need to highlight Ghazi.
And he connected you to Ghazi?
No, he didn't introduce me to him. I was introduced to Ghazi by a guy named Success who works for Atlantic and A&R.
Gotcha.
But one of the Twins producers, Rico, introduced me to Success.
Oh wow.
And then Success, we flew down to San Francisco together. I met Ghazi, and then I got in his ear about the Twins, and then at that point, you know, I had got a co-manager for the Twins. His name was Neil. Okay. And a year later, Neil said, I'm going to San Francisco to meet with Empire. And I was like, oh, I already talked to Ghazi. He's the bug is in his ear. And he went down there and told him about the Twins. And then they was like, we're gonna send you over a contract, you know. Oh wow. A deal. We're interested in the Twins. Okay. And that's how that happened. It was a little process, but we got it done.
Absolutely. Explain that, because some people might think that you have, you know, because you're a superstar boxer, because the Twins have millions of followers, some people will automatically assume that it will come in a silver platter. Never. Explain that process of still trying to get artists signed that have such a big following, a superstar presence, has a family that's all celebrities, but yet you still have to go through that journey to get signed. Explain that process. It's
a fight, you feel me? So at the same time, it's like you got to earn your stripes in the game. Just because I'm a superstar boxer don't mean that the Twins deserve $1 million in music, which is I feel like they do. Right. I feel like they deserve $10 million. Like, but it's all about time. They got to wait for the time. But like my success is not their success. So a lot of people don't understand that. Like, if you look at Diddy, you feel me? Like, he can't make his son go platinum. Like, people gotta listen to this shit. You feel me? Yeah, like Diddy, he can't make his son go platinum. He could give him the formula, he could give him the platform, but people gotta listen to him. People gotta like him. Right. You feel me? Like, and there's a lot of artists who try to put their friends on it don't work because you can't make people like you. You know what I'm saying? So true. It's all a building process, and as long as we stay consistent and keep building, creating a bubble, you know, with new fans, and they just listen, they'll pay off in 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
if you track back, we already been in it for so long. And add another 5 years on top of that. Yep. It's like the stock market. You feel me? You invest now and you wait for a big return later, and that's how it is with the music.
Gotcha. What do you see the future plans for the Siangie Twins and your other? Well, first of all, who are your artists? So you have the Siangie Twins under your management. Who else do you have under your management?
I have the Siangie Twins and Knox.
Okay, so you have those two artists under your management right now. What do you see for them for the future?
Well, the Siangie Twins, I feel like it's just a matter of time before they break. You know, they just have it, and it's up to them as long as they stay focused and. You know, it should be a no-brainer for the Twins.
Do you think about maybe pushing them into like other media outlets, like say for instance, or other media environments like movies and maybe commercials or things of that sort? Or you just want to focus primarily on the music at this time?
We focus on the music, but we actually shot our own reality show. You feel me?
Oh, okay.
We shot our own family reality show, and
What's it called? Can you give the name yet or no?
Well, we don't want to say it yet because
Okay,
we gotta
all right.
make sure that all the details right. But we actually shot our own reality show. You know, I funded it, and it's gonna be 12 episodes. It's coming soon, and but I feel like that's gonna be able to show the fans in the world who are the twins and who are the family when I'm not fighting, and when the twins ain't making music on Instagram. And I feel like that's kind of like it's gonna help everyone. I feel like
Right. As far as the cross promotion of brands
Exactly,
and marketing,
exactly.
right? So you're using this more as a marketing platform in order to move their careers along and to sell their products, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, I think my family is an interesting family, and I feel like
Right.
people should
Interesting characters,
Yeah, people
absolutely.
should want to. I want people to see that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Excellent. So let's jump into okay. So you have boxing, you have your boxing promotion, you have music, you have a clothing brand. It's called DSG. When did you start that brand?
Well, I was selling T-shirts. I always been selling merch. Like I've been selling T-shirts like since back in the day, all types of shirts, Danny Garcia shirts, everything. But I felt like I needed a logo. You know, I was like, I'm Danny Garcia, but I need to start branding something. And it was a lot of people don't know I had a Jordan deal.
Oh, you did have
Yeah,
the
I had a
deal.
Jordan deal, right?
Okay.
And for some reason that didn't work out, right?
Okay.
So that Jordan deal made me, when I lost the Jordan deal, it made me, it inspired me to make my own. I was like, man, what? I'm gonna make my own brand.
Right,
You feel me?
right.
And that's when like the DSG brand came.
Okay.
When I lost that, I was like, I'm gonna do the DSG brand.
So you're gonna focus on that
I
brand.
was like, I built my own brand. I probably make more money doing my own thing than them what they was gonna pay me.
So you were probably ahead of LeVar, what's his name? The Ball family,
Yeah.
Big Baller brand. You were ahead of them technically with regards to wanting to bring out your own brand, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then
And I feel like anyone who has a platform or is like star or basketball or anything you do, you should have your own brand. Because you could be the next Nike. You could be the next Adidas. You could be the next Jordan. Jordan was just a regular athlete. Not a regular athlete, but he was an athlete.
Yep.
And he became Jordan.
And then they use his silhouette as the trademark. And then next thing
Exactly.
you know, it's a multi-billion-dollar brand today.
And it's possible for anybody to do it if you just brand. It's all about branding.
So your business model for the clothing line, you sell it primarily on the website?
Yeah, I sell it on my website.
And then you also have a showroom in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, we have a showroom like where the gym location.
Okay. You call that the DSG complex?
Yeah, the compound.
Yeah, the compound. There you go, the DSG
Yep.
compound. So you got a showroom there. Are you direct to consumer? So your brand is more, obviously the customers, they go to your website, they purchase it, it goes directly to them, or are you dealing with also retail shops as well?
No, it's just online.
Online? Okay, so it's
Yeah,
direct to consumer.
yeah.
Okay.
Like I make everything, all the inventory, I do it myself. Like I'm in full control of everything.
And you
I don't
also
have no one like printing my stuff and they sending it out.
Nice.
No companies or nothing. Everything I do it.
and you deal with the manufacturers in China, Pakistan, or wherever they're producing your products.
Well, I have a designer. He has that relationship.
Okay.
I let him. That's a whole nother headache.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I just send him the design. Boom. This is what I want. He'll send me a sample. I approve. Get it done. Ship over. Put it on the website. Sell it.
So you're doing the drawings as well, the design
Yeah, like-
or the mock-ups of
yeah,
it, and
like-
sending over to him.
No, what I'll do, I'll send him like a picture of something else.
Okay.
Like this kind of style, like
Right.
sort of this style, but I want my print. You understand?
Gotcha.
And switch this up, switch that up.
Okay.
You know, like mastermind.
You'll send him the ideas.
Like
the
I'll send him this
inspiration.
blank hoodie right here.
Right.
You feel me? I like how your strings are. I'll be like, give me something like that, and then put the logo on it. Not that I'm
Gotcha.
stealing
No,
the idea.
absolutely,
but,
yeah, absolutely.
But like the Danny Montana collection.
The inspiration
but
behind
the satin, like no one was doing satin collar shirts and satin shorts. No one did that. And it was affordable price, but it looks rich.
Absolutely.
You feel me? So that's the whole reason. Like my clothing brand, the way I structured it is, it looks very expensive, and I do spend money, but it's affordable.
It is
I'm
good
giving
quality.
You, yeah, it's
It is
great
good
quality.
quality.
So I'm giving you great quality for affordable price, and you're not gonna get that nowhere.
The Danny Montana collection. Tell me how that came about. So we see you on Instagram. We see you dancing with your father, dancing with your with Erica, doing your Tony Montana impersonations. Tell me how that whole collection came about from that.
Well, I was just doing funny videos of Scarface. You know, I love Scarface the movie, so I would just go on Instagram and do a funny video. I remember me and Erica did a video, like, you know, I was just dancing.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know.
just doing those. That's why I said the dances.
You know what I'm saying? So I put that on Instagram. I got 1 million views on my Instagram. I was like, oh snap, people like that. People like that personality. So I did it again. Fuck you, man. You know what I'm saying? Who put that stuff together, man? And boom. I was just doing the Danny Montana videos for fun for like 2 years, 3 years. I was just doing them for fun. And then one day I was like, yo, I like how Scarface wears the collar shirts.
Yep.
And I like flamboyant stuff like that, like silk
Especially
shirts.
you live in Miami too.
Yeah.
That's the style.
So I said, I'm gonna do the collar shirts, but I'm gonna put my swag into it. I'm gonna put the silk. And that's why I did the Danny Montana collection, because, you know, it got the Miami vibes, but no one was doing silk. And I felt like it looked rich.
Yep.
But you go on my website, you buy it for $70.
And sometimes you're also throwing sales on top of that
it's sold
too.
out. Like,
wow.
The Danny Montana, it sold out like in 3 days.
Wow. And you have that on, what's the infrastructure? So the website, is that a Shopify account?
Yeah, Shopify.
So Shopify?
Yeah, Shopify,
okay.
yeah.
So you're bringing out, now are you, with regards to the clothing brand, especially in fashion, they do it by seasons. Are you doing it by seasons, or are you doing it by whatever inspires you at the time, you just put it out and that's it?
I do a little bit of both.
Okay.
Like I do, like right now, it's like fall's coming, so I'm gonna do some hoodies and some jogger suits.
Gotcha.
But I've been thinking about doing something a little like different this year. Like try to do like a Danny Montana like hoodie or something. You feel me? Like some satins.
Gotcha. Yep.
So just however, like last year I did jogger velours. You know,
Jogger
the velours
are very cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I remember Sean John, they had the velours.
Yep.
But I was like, I'm gonna bring the velour back. But I'm gonna make it a jogger.
You had this purple. You had the purple, or I think
it was like a blue.
purple. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
blue.
like a blue.
It was nice. It was
Yeah.
real nice. It had the DSG that popped out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I remember that.
So I was like, you know what? Diddy had the jogger. Diddy had the velour. I'm gonna bring it back in a jogger, and that's what inspired that.
How did it sell? Did it sell pretty good?
It did good. Everything, like all my stuff sold out.
That's awesome, man.
Like I lose money because I don't have enough inventory. Because I don't have enough to promote.
Right.
Like if I get new stuff every week, I'm constantly promoting. Driving a new traffic, or repeating customers or people who just love Danny Garcia.
Right.
They're gonna support, but I'll sell the whole Danny Montana collection, then I won't release nothing. So it's exclusive at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. It's a limited run, right?
Yeah.
And so,
because I'm doing it, you know what I'm saying? I want my fans to look good. I'm really doing it for my people to dress nice for affordable price.
how do you feel when people are wearing your stuff, especially at your fights or just period? They send you pictures. Like, do you feel as though, like, because you don't realize how big you're influencing others until you start seeing pictures of people wearing your stuff?
Celebrities went on my website and bought the Danny Montana collection.
Wow.
So I'll go and I'll see their name. I'm like, I don't want to say their name, but
Right, of course.
And then there's celebrities I just send it to, like,
Okay.
they be like, yo, send me that lay. I just send it to them, boom.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Like Riff Raff, he wanted my Danny Montana collection.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah, so I just sent Riff Raff the whole.
That's awesome, man. We're gonna keep it riding because of the other video. What are your future what are your future plans for the clothing brand? Do you plan on opening up stores? Do you just plan on keeping it on the website? Like, how do you see this brand in the future?
Well, I want to keep it on the website, but I'm open to like license it. Like I'll do that if a big company wants to borrow my name.
Okay.
I'll do that, but other than that, I'm never going to sell it or sell my brand.
Ownership.
Yeah, I
Right.
want all the ownership, but I'll license it. But for now, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
Building it, selling
Okay.
it to my people who love it.
So on top of, you have so much. How old are you?
I'm 32.
So he's 32. You have so much going on, right? You have so many entrepreneurs that have one business and they start that and they're trying to grow it. Meanwhile, you're trying to juggle all of these different areas and they're all separated. They're all scattered, right? So you have the clothing brand, you have the music, you have the boxing promotion. Talk about also being a real estate owner. You also have a portfolio of real estate as well. You got this fly coming around.
Yeah.
Somebody kill it.
Yeah,
you can see it.
Because I'm the shit. Say that.
But your real estate portfolio, if you don't mind or if you feel comfortable, how many rental properties do you have in your portfolio?
I have about Like my real estate, like just real estate alone, like I got like $4 million in real estate.
So you got $4 million in real estate.
Yeah, like investing into real estate.
One of those is the DSG compound.
Yeah.
Can you explain? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, that the DSG compound is the barbershop.
Yep.
It's the detail shop. It's the gym. It's the store. It's the studio.
Gotcha.
But the DSG, the compound was created to give jobs back to the community. Like I didn't create that to get rich. You feel me? I did that to bring value to my neighborhood.
Right. To
give the barbers money. Cause I'm not gonna get rich off a barbershop. You feel me?
It's literally a few blocks away from where you used to live too, right?
Yeah. You're not gonna get rich off a detail shop. You're not gonna get rich off a studio.
Right.
You feel me? So I did that to give back to my community so they could, and that's where I train. I still go back to my old neighborhood to work out.
I remember seeing Bernard Hopkins over there.
Yeah, Bernard Hopkins
too, right?
is there. Bernard Hopkins is there. A lot of Philly fighters been there. A lot of fighters come from like they might be fighting in Philly. They want to go to the gym and train.
Right.
Like people come from like Europe just to come to the gym.
Wow.
People come from all around the world just to hopefully see me. And I hope Danny's here and stop by and. Some see me, some don't. Right. But it just became like a trademark place in Philly.
It's kind of going to be like the Joe Frazier gym that was once. I mean, obviously it's a furniture store now, but it's like you're making a name, especially in that neighborhood, right?
Right.
So so you have this compound that obviously is servicing the community. Are you taking your money from music, from boxing, and you're parking it into real estate as a way to continue to grow and expand your overall wealth?
Yeah. Well,
is that the idea?
My goal, I want like $100 million in real estate.
Okay,
that's like my goal. Like right now, I'm just focused on boxing. I'm not going crazy into real estate because I'm focused on my career still. Okay. But if a good deal comes past, that's when I grab something. You feel me? If they be like, yo, this is a $250,000 building.
Right.
Got 3 units in it. You put $50,000 into it or $100,000. You could sell it for $500,000. Like I'll do that. But I'm not looking every day. You feel me? I'm just if something crosses. People always want to be like in the mix and give you deals when you somebody. So if a good deal comes, I'll buy it. And I just go from there.
So you have many ventures that you have going on that are pretty successful. Mm-hmm. You've also had some losses, right?
Yeah.
Describe the situation with the cannabis business.
Yeah. Well, when they announced that Pennsylvania's legalizing medical marijuana.
Yep.
That's when I was like, I never sold drugs in my life, but I will if it became legal. I was waiting for this moment, you feel me? I beat the odds, I'm like, I ain't gonna sell drugs, I'm gonna sell it when it get legal.
Right.
You feel me? But long story short, I got into a group with a group of investors. We had a great plan, and they were giving out 6 licenses, 6 vertical licenses. The vertical license means you could grow it, dispensary, and distribute it, right?
Wow.
So we were going for that. We were going all in.
Okay.
We teamed up with other people, successful people. Yep. You feel me? And long story short, we lost $1 million total. Like the whole group, I lost $250,000.
Okay.
Of my own money that I invested into it. But when the results came back, out of everyone, I'm talking about the Snyder family was in it.
Oh wow! Now the Snyder family, for those that don't know, they're the owners of the Flyers.
Yeah,
right?
Flyers. Yeah. I believe they own Comcast too, right?
Comcast Spectacor, I think.
Something like that. I don't know. They something like that. They were just all types of billionaires and successful fans. Long story, they didn't even get it.
Wow.
The Flyers, they didn't get it. I heard like Emmitt Smith was in it. Like, long story short, out of the 6 people who got it, our score was number 7.
Oh wow!
We had the 7th score. Yeah, and you know what killed us?
What?
Diversity. In order to get the license, you gotta have a big diversity. Like your board has to be diversity. So we only had it was just me and another
individual. Just
it was
to
just
be
me.
Diverse.
I was the Latino, and then the other guy was a black guy. But that was the only Latino people we had.
Wow.
Yeah,
so and that's what took you out of the
because you need to have diversity, more minorities, and women.
Gotcha.
You feel me? So that's how we lost.
Wow. So that was a huge loss for you. I mean, it was $250,000, but it was a learning experience, right?
It was one of them things where if it worked, rich forever, billionaires. You
Absolutely.
feel me? Because the way they structured it, they wanted to make it into like $1 billion
dispensary,
business and sell it. So I was a 6% owner in the business.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a board member too. So 6% out of $1 billion, I was 60 million, right? I've been tiptoeing in my Jones. But it's all good, you know. It's all good. It's all good. I got the money back though, cause I had a plan. Like I was like, I'm gonna put this in there, and I had this property I was working on, and I was like, if I lose this money, I'm gonna sell this and get my money back, so I could break out even, and that's what I did.
So you already so you made a risk. I mean, it was going to be a risky situation, but it was a strategic risk.
Yeah.
Because you were
and it was a tax write-off.
And it was a tax write-off. So you said, okay, I'm going to put this $250,000 in the in the cannabis business. You lost that money, but you already had a plan on how you were going to recoup those funds. So you weren't just throwing your money away. You already had a plan on how to recoup it. Yeah. So that's being very strategic.
Yeah.
So the way you
I was like, I ain't losing it. I'm getting my bread. I broke out even. You can say I lost $250K.
Yeah.
But at least I got it back on that. I broke even.
Absolutely. And just the fact that you had $250,000 to invest in is huge. You know?
Yeah.
So all right. So we're going to start wrapping this up, but let's jump into a few quick questions. Describe your daily routine.
My daily routine when I'm training, or
when you're training. When you're training, what's your daily routine that gets you into mental, and physical shape? My
daily routine is simple. To be honest, I wake up, drink some coffee, go for a run, come back, eat lunch, rest, go to the gym, work out, either spar that day, or if I don't spar that day, I work out. Then I do conditioning. My gym workouts last about 3 hours.
Okay.
Come back home, rest, and I just keep doing the same thing every day until it's time to fight.
Gotcha. What
Run,
keeps you
sleep, rest, fight, train every day?
Wow. And that, do you feel as though, I mean, obviously that builds you up physically. How does that deal with your mental? I mean, how does that, especially knowing that you have, the mother of your child here as well? Like, how are you able to just stay away from...
Stay locked in?
Yeah, stay locked in.
Yeah, so I've been doing it for a while. You know, some fighters like to go away because they don't have enough focus, but my family motivates me. Like, I like being around people. I don't want to be in poking no mountains by myself.
Getting frustrated, angry.
Yeah, freaking wrestling with bears. But I pretty much know what I got to do at this point, and it's just up to me to just stay focused and stay locked in.
Gotcha. What books are you reading, or what books have you read that has inspired you?
Well, it's crazy. I didn't start reading so late. You feel me? I didn't start reading so late. I wish I would have started reading earlier. But, I read the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. That was my first book. And then, I'm into stocks. So, I read a Warren Buffett book called 7 Streams of Income.
Oh, wow.
It taught me how to break down the stocks. How much is that shares that worth? When do they pay you out? Because before I should just log in and see a red day and a green day.
So you're just buying stocks without knowing the intricacies of those stocks at that time, right?
Well, I wasn't buying them myself. But the bank wealth management, they control that for me.
Gotcha. So you have a wealth manager.
Yeah, wealth management. The bank does it for me. But so any athletes go with the bank. Don't go with investors because all they do is steal.
And they're just trying to get the management fees sometimes very high and stuff like that.
Always go with the bank. You feel me? Always go with the bank because the bank got people looking over them.
Gotcha.
Every day.
So you got the different layers, the checks and balances and stuff.
You give your money to a financial advisor, and there's no one looking over him.
Okay, so
you can make millions of dollars. You can make millions of it. Say you got $10 million. You can make $1 million, 10% a year in the market. You make $1 million, right?
Right.
And then he'll come back and say you made 3%.
Because he took the other 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So I will always go with the bank.
If you could, and again, we are not financial advisors, so go out if you are looking to get into stocks and look this stuff up your own, do your own due diligence. Mm-hmm. But if you can, if you can talk about what are some of the good wealth managers that are out there right now, some of the good banks that might be able to manage your wealth.
I'm with PNC.
Okay.
I'm with PNC, so they did a great job with me.
Okay.
Like last year, we did like 14%.
Oh, nice.
Like before the coronavirus, like it was at an all-time high.
Wow.
Like I never seen from all my years in the stock market, I never seen
as far as the economy going up.
Yeah, I never seen it go up that high. It'd be like a 2% year. I remember the one year we didn't make no money.
Oh wow.
It was one year where we didn't make no money, and it was just a steady year. But then like a year passed, we made some, and then the year after that, boom, 14%, and then it was still going up, and then the coronavirus hit.
So reading those books, or reading that book, actually opened your eyes to what to look for within stocks, right?
Exactly.
And read it correctly.
It showed me how the shares, when they pay out, because everyone says the stock market is dangerous, you can lose your money, like don't do that.
Right. Exactly.
But when I read into it, there was only like 4 or 5 crashes in history, and they all rebounded to all-time highs.
Wow.
So it might drop now, it might drop this year, but in 10 years from now, it's gonna slowly peak back up. You gotta think about it. If there's no economy, there's no money, there's no America, and they will never let that happen.
So you feel as though these books, you're starting to become more of a reader now, right?
Yeah, because it's really simple. If you don't know about something, you could just read. Some days I feel like, you ever wake up one day just feeling frustrated for no reason? I think I know why I feel that. I think I know why I feel like that.
Why?
Because my mind wants me to learn more, and I'm not learning.
Yep.
So I feel like depressed because I'm not learning nothing new. I think I strive, like, when I feel like I'm just stuck.
Right.
You feel like you're stuck, like, I'm stuck. Like, why do I feel like there's nothing today?
Absolutely.
Like, every day you should never feel like it's nothing to do with, like, not know what to do.
So much to learn out here.
Yeah, it's like the world is so big.
Yep.
Like, and there's so much to look into that when I'm just sitting there and I'm mad and I'm stuck and I feel frustrated, it's because I need to learn something. Like, I need to, and I think that's what it is.
So true.
Like, reading makes you feel good. Like, it makes you feel like you actually learn something, or like, it's like a therapy, to be honest with you.
And the thing is, too,
it helps you read out loud.
So true, yep.
Because when you read, you read, like your brain starts getting stronger. So you start reading fast, like, and then when you can actually read something out loud and just read it out nice and clear. When you don't read,
it helps you with the fluency.
Yeah, when you don't read and then you try to read out loud, that's when you sound stupid.
Right.
Like your whole swag is destroyed. Like
done.
Like everybody got swag till you tell them to read out loud.
So you tell them to read out loud, right? Then they stuck.
Yeah.
So not only have books been able to expand your mindset, but it's also something where, think about it, like with books, they're written by a lot of key authors. I mean, you have individuals who have built multi-billion-dollar companies that have written books. So technically, if you want to learn from these individuals, read their books,
exactly.
Right? You're learning from a multi-billionaire,
right.
One of the greatest investors of all time, Warren Buffett. Yeah. You read from him and he taught you something, right?
It's crazy.
And you haven't even met him.
Only 1% of the world is a millionaire.
Wow.
And 90% of the millionaires are real estate.
Okay.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, that is very crazy. That's very crazy.
So I'm one of the 1% in the world. It's nuts.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. All right, so listen, we're gonna try to wrap this thing up. If you can give advice to your daughter that will benefit her for the next 20 years, what would that advice be?
The advice to my daughter, I'll just tell her, work hard, stay focused, and just have a vision. Have a vision, work hard towards that vision. Never give up, be a great person, kind person, loving, always show people respect, but at the same time, don't let nobody get over you. And you just be a strong woman, you feel me? And the sky's the limit, because if you just keep working for something, you never give up, you eventually become that person.
Absolutely. And for those who have been under a rock for so many years and don't know who Danny Swift Garcia is, how can they connect with you? How can they learn more about you and what you're doing?
Well, just my social media is Danny Swift Garcia, so just search Danny Swift Garcia.
Okay.
And if you want to learn about me, you probably just Google or just watch this interview.
That's it. Just watch the interview, baby.
Share this interview. Show it to somebody else.
Absolutely. Well, listen, there you have it. I appreciate everything that you, just for taking the opportunity to talk about your life, talk about your business endeavors, your business ventures, your successes, your losses, and things of that sort. I really appreciate what you've, been able to bring to the table. And hopefully this can be inspiring for those that are, looking at this video or listening to the audio and maybe inspire them to want to be great. So I appreciate you for that. It's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you, my brother.
Can't lose all your love, not